Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground and Starseeds Rising with Anne-Marie. And we got Jimmy here too with Healing Saturdays. Oh my gosh, it's Friday, and we just, as three friends, yay, Friday, we just wanted to check in with each other to see how things are going.
Going good, going good. Uh-oh, I need to silence my phone.
I know.
Sorry.
Boy, no worries. Well, of course, you know, when we don't know what to do, we always turn to the cards. And so I've invited Anne-Marie to help us with a fabulous card deck that, yeah, Danny Shea uses the same card deck. It's that ET one. Yay, the contact cards. So let's come up with a question for the reading. Something about the collective, I would say. What do you think, Anne-Marie? What's a good question for these cards?
Well, I've been seeing an awful lot of new, you know, we just had that disclosure meetings with Congress, and that was what they call a nothing burger, I think. So like, just the government is holding tight to what they know. So there's a lot of new documentaries that are coming out. So I wonder if the idea of contact is going to just keep progressing, even though the government is trying to shut down the idea.
Yeah, because at the same time, we're starting to see images posted, you know, in the news from these satellites, and we're seeing nebula and the galactic center and rings around certain.
With that new telescope that's up there, have they started posting pictures from that yet?
Well, I just open up my computer and it's like, bam, that's one of the first news stories.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jimmy, do you want to share what you saw outside the other night?
Well, not sure. Could have been a craft, might have been a satellite, but it seemed like it had some strange movements to it. So
wow,
it was like 3 in the morning.
You took the dog out, right? You took the dog out to...
No, I was taking a friend to the airport.
So oh, that's right.
Yep. So I was waiting outside in the parking lot and just watching the sky. So
airports, apparently, they're very prevalent around airports.
I wonder why that is. Air traffic control?
I don't know, but yeah, I've heard that. I mean, pilots see them all the time. You know, they're up there and they're not supposed to talk about it, I guess. But
so, Anne-Marie, instead of UFO, unidentified flying object, now there's a new language, right? It's something
UAP.
like UAP, yeah. Unidentified
aerial phenomenon.
UAP.
UAP.
Hey, UAP. Yeah. So Jimmy's seeing them. You're tuning in to the channel of having the conversation about what the heck's going on. And I got to tell you, I was recording a little video today in a chat for the playground, and a little orb just keeps coming and just whispering in. And it just makes me so happy. I don't have the volume that's at Jimmy's house, but I'm so happy when the little one comes in, and I'll invite my little orb to come play while we're talking too. But this is what we do on a Friday night. Okay, so back to the question for the cards though. So when I was thinking collective, I was thinking humanity, but it may be a bigger question around our ascension and the timing of, I don't know about the word disclosure, but it's this idea of, is there going to be more contact?
Being open to the higher realms and the higher dimensions and communication.
And maybe even the lower dimensions and multi-dimensions, right? Because there's inner earth beings and plasma.
Interdimensions, yeah.
Yeah, inter.
So many.
There are. Making visible what's already been there. Making the invisible visible, I think is what Cryon would say. How does that question feel, Jimmy? Does that sound good?
It resonates, yeah.
Okay, so we'll hold it in our heart. We'll connect our three hearts And Anne Marie, if we could help you invite Jimmy or myself when to stop shuffling. And how many cards should we pull?
I like 3. Since there's 3 of us, I think 3 is magic number. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Do I cut the deck or not?
3 piles.
Okay.
First pile is Anne Marie, top or bottom, or you just pick a card since you're there.
Okay.
Okay. And we don't want to
Okay.
see it yet. And then Jimmy and I will.
Okay.
So you set that aside. And then I'll to the middle card or middle pile.
Okay.
I'll say choose I'll go bottoms up.
Okay. Okay.
And Jimmy?
I'll go top.
Okay, Anne Marie, you have our 3 cards
Okay.
for that question.
All right. Well, so we've got planets, Earth, Moon. And so that would be telling us about, oh, you can't see it. It's a problem with this background. Nature and balance and polarity.
Is that the one you picked for the first
Yeah. Mhm.
planets? Okay.
So it's being grounded and waiting for the message, I think.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Planets.
And then we have, yours is a good one, Ursula.
It's not the alien knocking at 3 a.m., is it?
No, it's nebula.
Ooh, stars.
Yeah, so this is illumination and it's potential, the potential for new illumination.
Wow.
So learning something new. I'm glad you didn't pick the top card because I had pulled the top card from that file before you said the bottom card, and the top card was
Yeah, I'd rather stay on the illumination. Keep it light.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep it really light. Don't scare me.
That's right. And Jimmy, your card is the crop circles.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you can, swastika though. Swastika.
But you know, pre Nazis, the swastika was used in quite a bit of cultures. I think especially Africa. So wow,
Yeah,
an energy.
yeah.
Jimmy, it's energy.
That's
And
really
it's,
cool.
yeah, the crop circles symbolize the advice and messages and the guidance available. And so this specific one is a journey. So we are on a journey of learning what the messages are, illumination, and remaining grounded here on Earth so that we can absorb the messages and not let it make us fly off into all different directions.
Wow, I love the planets coming and then the stars, right? Planets,
Yeah.
stars, nebula. And then the crop circles are like, you know, messages.
The message, yeah.
Very cool.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
Well,
simple, nothing extreme. I can always read from the book, but that's too.
It's too much work on a Friday night. Hey, well, I'll share my screen. Let's go back and revisit the Orb movie that we shared with
Yeah.
Jimmy. And then Jimmy can give us a little update if he feels like it. Here comes the video. Let's see if I can find it. Desktop. Here we go. Jimmy's Orbs. Okay. Can you guys see that?
Not yet. Yep, there it is.
Okay. This is our little makeshift movie. Jimmy's home in May of this year. It's coming, guys. Don't blink.
Don't blink.
Here they are. Party Central. Wow.
So is this the older video or is this the revised one?
Uh-huh. It's the one that Anne Marie helped me figure out how to show all the beautiful. I put the planet here now, so it's going to replay a second time.
Okay.
But the ones you sent me today, Jimmy, I couldn't remember all of Anne Marie's great advice for how to make it happen. Look at I just get so happy watching these snowflakes going upward. Happy
It's
orbs.
amazing.
And this is not irregular. This is becoming more regular, wouldn't you say, Jimmy?
Well, you know, last week there was a lot, but the last week or so during the week it's been pretty quiet. So it'll be like
Quiet. What do you mean?
3 or 4. Like there'll just be 3 or 4 kind of skimming along the ceiling or something. So
That's awesome, though.
I wonder where they go. Like, if you're a light being, zip, zip.
I don't know. Do you have like a box that you leave open so that they can go in the
Capturing Tinkerbell, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know, Jimmy. I feel like they're always coming to help support the healing and the prayer that you offer on a daily basis to so many of us. Really appreciate the text messages and the reminders to just pause in the day.
you're welcome.
Yes, it's very helpful to know. I mean, I had an interesting, well, for the past few weeks, I've been like waiting for results on a lab work and everything. And so when getting your healing messages that you were going to be working on that every day, I just thought, okay, this is all going to be good. And then I got the results and everything's fine. So credit you for that.
Oh, it's not me, but great news.
Oh, the healing definitely helped. Yes.
I have to tell you, sometimes Jimmy reminds me of the same message, like, expect the best. Imagine the best, like already healed, all complete. And sometimes, Jimmy, I get a little annoyed. No, he's telling me the same thing. But yeah, and then I have my list of reasons why I shouldn't just believe that it's all going to be fine. But the data and the this and the that, and I'm like, okay. And after I go through my little gyration internally, then I go, okay, let's just play this game and imagine what it would feel like, whether it's for myself or a loved one, especially the loved one. It's like, So miracles, I think what you're trying to tell me all the time is miracles, imagine them coming towards you.
We just have to step out of the way and allow it.
Yeah. It's just this conditioning, like how you grow up, like you believe what the doctors say, you trust the diagnosis. And so when it's a scary diagnosis, like a C word that ends in R, then it's like, oh, well, better start planning the funeral, start getting things ready for the worst. And I don't know why, and maybe it's how I was raised in my childhood, this idea that waiting for that other foot to drop, because it's always like scanning for like the worst possible outcome, like, oh no. So I'm going to sit with that, because that's really a childhood wound that's up to be revisited for me.
That's tough.
I know, especially recognizing the subconscious. It's like, I don't even know, I'm thinking these like worst case scenario thoughts, and they just keep, that loop keeps going around. Now, Jimmy, you did call me this week and you reminded me of when I said I was feeling a little dizzy, like I was out of balance. You asked me a question. You said, are the chakras or the something out of balance or out of balance?
Well, I asked if your rotation, you're in your correct polarity or rotation.
Yeah, am I spinning in the right way, huh?
Yeah.
How would one know that?
Well, I check when I use my pendulum, my yes or no.
Oh, okay.
And if I'm at work and like things that should just take a few minutes seem to drag out and it's like I can't think, I'll check and my rotation or spin is reversed.
And how do you fix that?
Well, it's hard to do. You have to cross your legs.
Okay,
You don't have to, but
so your legs get crossed. Is it the right leg over the left one?
I don't think it matters. Then you take your hands, grasp them, and pull them in, hold them in your
Go a little
heart.
slower. Is it like
Wait,
this?
And I take
Okay, we're
Yeah, you
learning how to do the.
flip
Okay, there we go.
and then turn in. And then I just breathe really deeply, like 3 or 4 times. And
And
then
if we're already aligned, are we now messing up our alignment, or does this
Yes.
always bring us back to the way we're supposed
Of
to be?
course, you'd ask that question. I'm not going to mess myself up if I'm already fine. Let's
Well, you
just
can-
take a breath. We can what, Jimmy?
well, I mean, if we reversed it, I guess you could always unreverse it again too. So
I think if you have your shield up for only the best, only the best can happen, or within your little cocoon, then I think you're fine. Gotta remember how to do this. What was that game we'd play, Twister? You know, like, so we're twisting. And how many breaths, Jimmy? It was
I take at least 3. So
okay with my legs crossed. Okay.
Magic number.
yep, and you're typically standing. So
Oh, but if you can't stand, you can sit, right?
I've never tried it sitting, but I just stand. So.
Okay, so here's the old finger testing, right? So when you make an O, and then these come over and show me a yes and show me a no. A no opens. So the question is, tell me again the question, Jimmy. Am I rotating or am I spinning?
Are you in your correct rotation?
Am I in my, at present time, without any bias, am I in my current did you say rotation? Correct rotation. Okay, so I got a yes. Emery, you do it now. If you know, do you know how to do the muscle test? There you go. Are you in your correct rotation?
Yes, I am correctly rotated now. So
okay, and Jimmy, are you in your correct rotation?
I am.
You are. Okay. But if anyone opens up, they go, because we just like to show these fun little games that we play. I have heard of rotations. In fact, they take the pendulum and they check very specific points, you know, to find out where you're off. But now just do the yes or no, and then do Jimmy's twister.
And my friend Gwen actually taught that to me. So.
Oh yeah, we want to have Gwen come on the playground. She does emotion codes.
Yeah, and she could even share other ways to get your rotation back in. So.
Do you remember? Do you know tapping, Anne Marie? You get like a little squirrel.
I do that a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you have like a phrase that you say every.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jimmy, let's get Gwen back on here, or invite her, because she has so much to share. So we'll tell her we've already done this little breathing and twister. We did the twister technique. So much.
She'll correct it for me.
I'm sorry, she'll what?
She'll correct it for me. So.
Okay. So much of what we're listening to during our uncertain times, because the news or the global weather seems to always be like crazy, and then crazier, and then even beyond crazy. So many of us are reminded and are sharing to breathe, you know, to stop in through the nose and out through the mouth. And what I like about what you said before, Jimmy, is just placing 2 hands on your heart chakra, just your heart. And if you're at work, lunch break, sitting in traffic, you know, taking that, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, just do that 3 times. And already you just kind of drop into this, all I can be is in this moment. I can't get too far ahead, and I don't want to look back. So it's just playing with this new time frame of be here now. Thank you, Ram Dass. What do you think, Anne Marie? Do you like the breathing or the?
Yes. The breathing for sure. Yeah. In and out. In with the good, out with the bad.
I do have a question. I heard today was either ending or Mercury Retrograde is now over, or?
Yes, it is.
Can you share or expand on that, or?
Well, it only appears to be retrograde. It's not actually moving backwards. It's just from our perspective that it looks that way. And so anytime Mercury is retrograde, we're readdressing everything. Whoops, electricity. So like you wouldn't want to sign a contract because there could be lots of redoing the contract, or, you know, you wouldn't want to make a financial because Mercury is transactions, financial transactions. So you wouldn't want to do those things during retrograde because something will inevitably go wrong with it, or you'll regret it, you know. So there's the re words always come in for when Mercury is retrograde. So now that it's stationed and going direct, now we're free again. So now we can move forward. Although Saturn does go retrograde tomorrow, I think. Station is retrograde tomorrow, but Saturn is a different thing. Saturn will be, it's more, we have the opportunity to, it doesn't mean we have to stop anything. When Saturn, it's more of an internal, just thinking about it and actually having more opportunities to move forward. It's like, not the opposite, but like Saturn is our putting on like boundaries and our brakes and saying this is the limit to protect us. And now that it's retrograde, it's kind of like giving us a little freedom to, you know, test our boundaries even. And now after what we've learned as it's gone forward with, now it kind of tests us to see if we've learned our lessons.
Interesting.
And, yeah. And it would depend on what house you have it in and everything too, as to what part of your life that was impacted.
So during Mercury retrograde, do you actually feel it physically or emotionally, or does it affect a person that way? Or is it just more transactions or communication or technology? Or
it would depend on where it is in your chart. And if, like in my chart, Mercury is stationed, it's stationing retrograde. So it's standing still. So retrogrades don't necessarily affect me too much. Some people like feel it more, just like their computers are constantly getting, you know, or they're losing their keys, or they're saying the wrong words when they're trying to communicate or something. How about you, Ursula? What's your experience with Mercury retrograde?
Well, I would say, you know, don't be getting married during Mercury retrograde, or if your marriage didn't seem to work out, go back and check the date and see if Mercury is retrograde and learn from it.
Yeah, regrets for sure.
Yeah, no, I love it. Mercury in mythology was the god that wore the little wings on his helmet and his ankles, so he could fly up to Mount Olympus and be with the gods and communicate the highest levels, come to Earth, and then he was the only one that could also go underground with messages. So when I hear Mercury retrograde, and I'm Virgo, as my sun and ascendant, that's ruled by Mercury. So is the sign of Gemini. So when it's my, you know, ruling planet, I really wanted to know the story. So the ability to go from all the heights and the depths, communication with a little bit of a trickster, you have to understand that the retrograde part is this time to go in. You know, it's not the time to always go out, you know, communicate, go. And in America in particular, our culture doesn't really value this time of like the tide, it's in and then it's out. And so the retrogrades are, I think, a planetary energy that says sometimes it's time to speak and sometimes it's time to just go within with whatever planet is retrograde, because it's this holding the duality of energy. You know, I go up, I go down. It's equal and opposite. And so like there's that universal law, you know, what we put out comes to us, goes up, goes down, but it's all energy on a sine wave. So I don't know, that's a long answer, Jimmy, which I gotta just say, for you to start asking Starseed Rising, you know, galactic questions about planetary alignment. In fact, you texted us saying, hey, did anyone notice that all the planets are like stationed in a particular geometry? I was like, Dang, Jimmy Munson. You're on fire. Good for you.
Can you see the planets in the morning?
I'm not sure where to look in the sky, so
You would look to the east.
okay.
Yeah, you would look to the east, and it would have to be before sunrise, obviously, because
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to see them after. But yeah, it'd be pretty early. I have to, because it would be close to the horizon. So I don't
Okay.
know how clear your view of the
There's a-
horizon is, but
Yeah, there's a lot of trees in that. In the way.
yeah, I have that too. By the time they get high enough off the horizon, the sun is there. So it's not good. Dang it.
Wow. There's just so much to really start encouraging each of us to really look up into the stars and understand that we are really all being called to be galactic citizens. I mean, I know down here on Earth, we're looking down and we're seeing who's fighting whom, or, you know, what's happening over there and that anthill and over here. But in 2022, it just feels like the energy, as we move into this photonic light belt, are in it right now with all the solar flares and, oh my gosh, CMEs, coronal mass ejections. It's like you cannot not pay attention to what's happening up in the heavens. And Jimmy, when you start seeing things at 3 a.m., like, oh, there's a light craft, not sure it doesn't look like an airplane. What is it? Or the orbs start popping in your house. Something seems to be pushing us. Or if I see my little orb come in and play, you know, something's pushing us to like, hey, pay attention to a bigger perspective. It's almost like start looking from your peripheral vision instead of always looking just through these blinders. This is life. Whereas we're being asked, I think, to go more like this.
Yeah.
So you made my day asking about Mercury retrograde.
So I got a question. You know, you guys had what 2 or 3 earthquakes yesterday in California. Do you think that was caused? Maybe that planetary alignment had something to do with that, or would that be something different? Maybe.
No, I think we're sitting with the plate tectonic issues, and the thing we have to understand is the Earth is continually moving, and so, you know, when we agree to live in certain areas where it's a little more problematic, but because I love listening to Pam Gregory and her astrology, everyone seems to be pointing at what Uranus and Taurus. And so this idea of sudden Earth changes, and they're not just going to be in normal areas. So it could be under the ocean, it could be in places we've never seen earthquakes before. So we're just going through that whole ascension process. I like to think of it as birthing pains for Mother Earth. But boy, I got my little bag packed just in case. But I think we all need to be like thinking better. I was a Girl Scout. Okay, I got my little badges, had my sash. Big thing is always be prepared. Be prepared. Expect the unexpected. So I don't know if that answers your question, Jimmy, but yeah, Earth movement. I think we're just going to get used to more fires, more Mother Earth speaking to us in ways. I mean, maybe
extreme weather.
Extreme weather. Uranus and Taurus, also food shortages. But we could hold the space, like you always remind me, Jimmy. Imagine what you want. Imagine, okay, there's shortages, but that will help create a new system for delivery, or better, somehow, better foods, better awareness that we can't keep treating Mother Earth the way we've been without any consequences.
You just reminded me of Bewitched with your little.
Well, that's a good way to segue. I wasn't going to, but I have a new card deck. They're the Mystic Martian Oracle. They're a little creepy, but would you guys like to play with me so I get over the creepiness?
Absolutely.
Jimmy, are you okay? All right, so let me go ahead and put this on the second camera, then let's see what can happen here. Okay, Anne-Marie, you have this deck already, right? Okay, let me
I think it's all packed though. Yeah.
I know, you're packing your cards. Some people pack heat, you pack cards. All righty, here we go. Well, I'll stop share for a minute. What do you think we want to ask the Mystic Martian Oracle deck? What's our question to the Martians? Actually, it's not just the Martians, right? It's other star beings.
Do you want to ask something about the earthquakes or the earth changes?
That sounds
Or
good.
when they're going to reveal themselves.
Oh, Jimmy's going for the jugular. He wants to know. He wants to know disclosure, Anne Marie.
I'm right with you, Jimmy.
All right.
Okay, so maybe we can combine those two about Earth move. Do the Earth movements have something to do with disclosure? How does that sound?
Or will it lead to disclosure? Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, I like that, Anne Marie. So let me do a little shake, shake, shake. Tell me when to stop shuffling. I'm not a good shuffler. You guys should see me. I'm the worst. It's like my fingers are too fluffy. Notice I didn't say the other words. My fingers are too fluffy to shuffle them. All right, tell me when to stop, somebody. Show us the message about earth changes and disclosure. Earth changes and disclosure. What do you want to tell us? Earth changes and disclosure. Are you guys getting dizzy yet from all my shuffling?
I'm waiting for Jimmy to tell you to stop.
Stop. I was kind of waiting for you, Anne Marie.
We could have been here a long
Figured I
time.
needed to say something.
Okay, Anne Marie, you tell me how many. Do I cut it?
Cut it, just the 2 stacks.
2 stacks. All right.
Mhm.
And then are we going to do the 2 tops or the 2 bottoms?
What do you think, Jimmy?
I'm thinking top.
Okay.
Both tops? Okay. Well, here we go. Oh, Starseed. Hey, Starseed Rising. It's number 37. Self, memories, and identity. Ooh, with the rainbow. Ooh, oh, here's like Jimmy sitting here going, wonder where the orbs went.
Oh, there they are. They're right out the window.
Yeah.
They're right outside the window.
Ah, and then here's a woman playing with the Rubik's Cube. Can you see that? That's so funny. And then here's a kitty sleeping, and there looks like to be a little moon person with, again, the chakras. This is like, are you in good rotation or not? Or correct rotation? Wow, Starseed, number 37, self, memories, and identity. So remember the question we asked, earth movement and disclosure. This feels like it's talking about us right now. Starseeds rising on the playground with a little cup of coffee.
And the orbs.
And orbs.
Jimmy and his
Oh my God.
orbs.
And here's a kitty. Okay, here's the disclosure one, I bet. Ooh, what the heck is that? Ouroboros, infinity, eternal, past life.
It's like
God.
the earth, and there's like a baby inside the earth that needs to come out. The what's going to be birthed through the earth movement.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow. So the word Ouroboros means the snake eating its tail.
Yeah.
It's an ancient metaphor. Holy moly. This could be Gaia, the new earth, huh? What do you think?
Yeah, that's
Fine.
what I'm thinking.
I'm feeling like we need one more card. I'm just feeling it. So we got
Okay.
Starseed, the Ouroboros, and I'm going to take the first one on the bottom here. Ooh, okay. Flower of life.
Look at that.
That. Yeah. Wow. Inspiration, awe, and dreams. What do you sense, guys? Ooh.
I think that the flower of life is Jimmy with the flower of life behind him.
Oh my
Starseed
gosh.
Starseed Rising.
You.
And then you're having the earthquakes.
I'm the naked lady with the snake eating its tail. Is that what you're saying? I'm the naked lady.
No, that you're experiencing the earthquakes. You're the one that's feeling the earth move.
That's true. Jimmy, Ursula, Anne Marie, you just can't make this up. Good catch on Jimmy's background. Wow. And the flower of life, Jimmy, it goes back to the Osirian temple in Abydos as one of those early blueprints for humanity. I'm getting a chill when I said that. Early blueprints for humanity is this idea of death and regeneration. It's rebirth. Wow. It's
Creation.
Yeah, creation. It's this idea of the fractalization of all that is, right? Wow. Starseed Anne Marie. You cracked me up. I'm the naked lady with the snake. At least the snake is not trying to do anything nasty. Okay, only eating its tail. Keep yourself happy, snake. I'll work on infinity, eternal, and past life. And Jimmy could work on inspiration, awe, and dreams. And Anne Marie, you can work on self, memories, and identity. Ooh, okay, I'm not so freaked out by this mystic Martian.
All right.
It just has creepy, look at it, has just creepy star people. I think I just watched too much Star Trek, Star Wars growing up. You know, what was that? Oh, Godzilla. I'd watch Johnny Weissmuller, Tarzan Theater, and then right after that would be Godzilla. That was my childhood.
You didn't watch Little House on the Prairie with Laura Ingalls?
Well, the Waltons. I did the Waltons.
Yeah.
But I can only get to the sappy stuff for so long. It's like, there was always a fascination with outer space, though, I think. Remember that Emergency? What was that one? When
Will Rogers.
There you go.
Yeah. And then there's Land of the Lost. I used to love Land of the Lost. That silly with the slee stacks or whatever they were, that show. I just loved that show.
And how about you, Jimmy? You're not that much younger.
Do you know what we're talking about?
I know. We didn't have TV. Did you like Star Wars growing up, Jimmy?
It was okay. I wasn't drawn to it, so.
Wow.
I wasn't either. I have never watched the Star Wars movies. It's like, I've never watched Star Wars.
Really?
Never watched Star Trek.
You're not a Trekkie? Oh, wow.
I know. I think that it's funny that now I'm so interested in all of that, that it seems like maybe I was kept from it. The idea of like whatever fixed star, that energy was like in opposition or something for me, and it was like waiting for the later part of my life for me to open up to it or something.
What was the big shift for you to get into the stars then, Anne Marie? I mean, if it wasn't already there as, childhood and fascination.
I really think it had a lot to do with the pandemic and shutting down and just realizing if that could happen, what else can happen? Like there's that, to me, that just like totally blew open the Pandora's box of anything can happen. The idea of shutting down the whole world was just so mind blowing to me that, and then while we were all locked up, how the earth responded to that, that the air cleaned up and that was just amazing to me. And so,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, the silver lining of that big pause, or as the world went retrograde, right, for 2.5 years, and we're still not even out of it yet. So the silver lining is that you tuned into the stars, is what it sounds like, more so.
Absolutely. But yeah, so much more than that. I'm not even the same person anymore. It's total
Good.
change. Yeah, total change.
What about you, Jimmy? When as far as cosmic or energy healing, I think when I asked you before, I think energy healing's always been part of you, and so it's a natural. Did I get that right? Or
Well, I mean, it showed up about in 2012, so since then. So.
well, the orbs showed up in 2012, right?
No, they showed up a few years ago.
Oh, that's right, 2019. Okay,
Yeah.
I got to get my story right. Well, I went full bore into astrology. I could not believe how much was for free on YouTube. I could not believe how many wisdom teachers were coming forward and sharing what they know. And so I've just been consuming it, never thinking that I would ever speak astro, but it's come almost naturally. I mean, I love painting, and you don't really hear me talking too much about painting, but while I'm painting, I'm learning. And so it's this whole, I have Gemini at my midheaven. And so I love this idea of, room for more, room for like expanding my thinking and my learning. So hope to become a galactic quantum soul guidance certified practitioner one day, like Anne Marie is one day.
Well, you're gonna be there any day now. You
I'm-
could be.
I'm kind
You're
of
already
taking my
doing
time.
it.
I'm kind of taking my time. I just want to keep
You're
enjoying
just- You're just waiting to take the final exam, but you're already there. You just need to write your thesis. That's all.
Well, it feels like I want a long courtship. I don't want to go to the altar too soon because I know what's behind it is a lot of work. So, but one day, and it's a treat to be able to share star information or astro information with friends.
It
And I
really
remember
is.
we looked at Jimmy's chart. Remember that? Jimmy, you let us read your chart.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I think the biggest carryaway I had was finding that whole idea of the galactic center, the super galactic center, and then the great attractor. And it can almost help us answer where your focus on magnetics and energy and how we could see it in your chart. And we're like, oh my God, Dennis doesn't have it in mine. It has it in Jimmy's.
We'll have to revisit that sometime. Help me to learn it more, understand it deeper. So
It was like a thunderbolt. And I know sometimes when information comes in, it's almost like, okay, I don't understand it, but maybe one day. It was just like, my gosh.
Very cool.
I know in the class that Anne Marie and I are in with Julia Balaz, it's just growing and growing, and it's global. And one of our practitioners is offering reports not just in English, but in French. So we're going to go multilingual quickly. So it's pretty exciting to be on the ground floor as, the collective starts wanting to learn more about the stars.
it's very exciting.
Yeah, well, what's even more exciting is to live where you live and have all these incredible orbs of light show up. Jimmy's light show.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you guys have them too. You just got to turn your video camera on.
Yeah, in fact, I'll ask my little orb to come in and say hi. Let's see if it shows up. There was a time where I wasn't feeling well, and I invited Jimmy's orbs to come visit me and help support me to rebalance. And I can tell you, I think I just saw something on this side. I can tell you that that heart request when I wasn't feeling well, I felt it was answered. I could just feel presence when mostly when my brain was not so busy worrying, when I was going to sleep or when I was waking up. Delta.
It's very cool.
Well, you guys, thank you for such a nice Friday night together.
This was great. Loved it.
Yeah, it's great seeing you guys.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of love here and a lot of learning and sharing. So Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, till next time, we'll see you next on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye-bye.